Hello, hello, hello. Here we go. Let's do me checks. Oh, shut that off. Let's see. Notification says we're live. Gmail says we're live. So far so good. Andy, having everything on your phone. Notification from yeah, looks like we're all live. Hiya Graham, you alright mate? It's all looking good. I'll put my phone down there because I'm sure it's going to go off sometime during this live stream. It usually pings with something. Right, good evening. Welcome to Wednesday Night Live. Rob. Evening, mate. I hope you're well. How's it going? Oh, Gary B. Hi, Gary. Good to see you again, mate. It's been a busy week. You good? Okay. Luke, hiya, mate. How many fish have you had this week, Luke? Yeah, all the pings are going off and stuff like that. It's looking good. Yeah, I'm good, Rob. I'm all right. I got a bit of a nasty bill today. Mr. Tyler, all right, mate. My car was due a service today. I only had an MOT last week, and it was due a service today, and £169 for the service because it was only a small one. And he phones me up mid-morning. Your car's failed a few safety checks, so the leaking back cylinder, brake cylinder, and 2 tyres. Which was 2 tyres. Not the tread hadn't gone on them, but they had gashes in the tyres. I think I've got that from going down, like country lanes and stuff like that, and dodgy pothole-ridden roads to lakes. So they've had to keep my car overnight, and instead of paying £169, I think I've got a bill for about £500, something like that, which I'm not very happy about. But there we go. So I haven't had the best of days. Easy come, easy go. On the plus side, I got a water meter fitted today, so I'm not going to have anywhere near as big a water bill. The water bill for the house is £600 a year plus, and it's going down to next to nothing compared to that. Yeah, Paul, evening mate. Yeah, still catching, mate. I'm doing all right. I'm having a few from the brickworks. I'm getting through about 2 or 3 fish a visit, something like that. Just rocking up at like 1, 2 o'clock in the afternoon and fishing till dark, catching 2 or 3 fish a time. I've done all right. Luke, 470. Wow. Okay. That's up, mate. That's up on last time, isn't it? Not bad at all. Proper weedy. Oh, I hate weedy lakes, mate. They're not the best. Depending on how weedy it is, like sometimes you'd have to fish drop off leads and stuff like that. I always find hemp is quite useful in weedy lakes because you throw it in and they'll clear the spot, rooting it all out. So it's a natural way of keeping your spots clean using hemp. Louis fishing, all right, mate. Good evening. Costly business, yeah. Don't trust garages. Yeah, that's the thing, Graham. I had my car MOT'd last week and it passed, And then today they said there's gashes in the tyres. That could be going to brickworks though, because the road down there is quite bad. So I've got to give them the benefit of the doubt, unfortunately. Yeah, my rebate's just gone. Well, some of it has, but that's okay. I can cope with it. Bald Eagle, Frank, all right, mate? Good to see you again. Danny, quick session after work again. Oh dear. You're like a dynamo, Danny. Never rest, do you? Hitting up the zigs. I only have experience in deeper water. Have you done much zig fishing in the shallows? Yes. Is it worth it? Yes. Absolutely. It's worth it at any depth of water. I've caught fish on it from on zigs from Sandmere, which is literally 2 foot deep all the way across. Literally, you know, it's just like a scaled down version. Like, so if your water's 2 foot deep and you fish a rig that's 12 inches, it'll be mid water. You haven't got to tweak it very far, to be honest. And you usually find 1 foot under the surface does the trick, like fishing mid water on a shallow venue. But yeah, it's good at all depths, mate. I've been doing really well on the zig in the last few weeks. I've been fishing in 20 feet of water, and the fish have been up in the layers, and it's just a case of like cast out an adjustable and then tweak it up or down 1 foot or 2 at a time. So I'll give it an hour. If I haven't had the bite after an hour, I'll tweak it one way or the other, either up or down. And generally, like within 1 or 2 tweaks, I've been getting bites. So I told you my phone would go again, didn't I? So it's working for me. Like, it's working well. The zigs, one of my favourite ways of fishing. So yeah, no matter how shallow it is, it's worth it. 2 carp at £20. Bloody hell, Luke. They're not small fish, mate. One of the most stunning carp ever caught on a simple method feeder. Just shared it on the Mark Carp group thing. What group thing? You're only allowed 1 post a week in there, Danny. All YouTubers are on 1 post a week, so it might not get through because you posted one last Thursday, so you won't get one in now until tomorrow or Friday. Them's is the rules, mate. I've already set them and they're sticking to them. So if someone's let it through, I'm going to delete it. Because rules is rules. No YouTube link on it. Oh, right, okay. I'll go and have a look now. Let's see. I haven't had any notifications to say that there's no scheduled posts. Pending posts, here we go. No pending posts. Must have gone through. Yeah, oh yeah, it's a nice one, that, mate. Yeah. That's not bad. Not bad at all. Where are we? Yeah, I wouldn't say it's one of the most stunning carp ever. I've certainly seen plenty of ones that are better than that, Danny, but it's a pretty fish, for sure. Believe me, you'll catch some nicer looking ones than that in your time. You've been on the adjustable and been getting loads of bites, but with shallow water, I reckon I just need to short hook line. You do away with the adjustable, Paul. What I do is I have one of those, you know, those Fox zig discs. You can use any kind of zig thing, and I'll tie up a load of hook lengths. So I'll have like 6 inches, 12 inches, 18, 2 foot, 2.5 foot, 3 foot, 3.5, 4, 4.5, 5, and I'll just wind them onto the zig disc, and you can just swap them as and when you want. It's simple enough, mate. You only really need an adjustable once you start getting over like 8 feet. Anything under 8 feet, I just use it just straight off the lead for me zigs. It's really the adjustables just for deep water. But yeah, the adjustable's great in deep water. Like, I'm doing really well on that at the moment. Like, I think I've had about 10 or 12 fish in the last 3 or 4 weeks on the adjustables. So it's doing well for me. Like, pards, all right, mate. I don't fish for carp, remember. For me, it's up there. Do you have much luck on the adjustables? Yeah, Mr. T, doing really well on them at the moment. Never seem to catch, but if I put a pre-side zig out, seem to start getting bites. Yeah, the adjustables are great, mate. The only problem is you don't really get bites with the adjustable. You do, but you don't get screaming runs. You just get a knocking rod tip. It'll just go like that, and you'll get like a single bleep on the alarm, and it'll go beep, 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 and that's your run. What you got to remember with the adjustable is, like mine at the moment, I'm fishing in 20 feet of water with an adjustable, so it's going straight down to the lead, and then it's coming up, and the hook base, and I'm getting me bites around 4 or 5 feet under the surface. So it's like straight down to the lead and then 16 feet straight up. So when it takes the bait, there's so much play in there. It can go pretty much anywhere it wants, and it's not gonna scream off. The lead might drag a little bit, because it's, it might pull the lead a little bit, and you'll just get a knock on the rod tip. It's easy to spot the bites though. I'll do a video on it. I keep meaning to do a video on the adjustable zig. I've been thinking about it like for a couple of weeks now, but what I'll do is I'll probably save it till next winter, because I've got some other stuff on the go as well. But it's an interesting way of fishing, like, and it really works very, very well. But like I said, under 8 feet, get yourself a zig disc and just tie a load up and mark them so you know which one's which, like, and what the depths are. Measure them out and keep them on your zig disc marked so you know which ones are which, and you can swap as and when you want. Red foam. What's everyone else's go-to zig colours? Mine's yellow. Black is a favourite. Pink and white. I want some pink and white. I can't find any anywhere online. Everyone seems to be sold out. But I'm looking for a pink and white zig kit. I've got at the moment yellow, black, red and orange. But I've not tried the orange yet, but I've done really well on yellow. That's my go-to colour. No, it won't work in the shallows, Paul. You need to just go straight off the lead with the zig. It's just, that's all the adjustable is. It's for deep water, specifically for that method. Yeah, hooks need to be sharp. Yeah, they do. They'll mouth the bait, and it needs to be sharp enough to prick them and get the bite, and then after that, like, just wind down and whack it. And play them in light as well, because you never know the hook hold with the zig. So I always err on the side of caution, like, and I don't try and bully them or anything like that. Just let them go where they want to go. Only clamp down if you have to. You should play your fish like that anyway, but be extra soft with the zig. I always take the clutch back a little bit. Fox zig floats, Ian. All right, mate. I would never use a quarter zig float. I think they're crap. They're basically just an underwater, like, subsurface float with a pair of them stupid glasses on. They've not done much thought on the zig stuff Corda, whereas Fox they've fine-tuned theirs over the years. Like they've brought some zig floats out, didn't they, which are big bulky things at the top and a big long piece of tubing. And the ones they've got out now, I've got a special little mechanism with it so that it all goes together when it casts, and it's got a little hole to put your foam, dissolving rig foam, so your rig never tangles. And I've been using them now for 18 months, 2 years, coming up 2 years, because I bought them when they first came out, and the Fox zig floats are by far and away the best on the market. They are streets ahead of everything else. So yeah, get the Fox ones. Where are we? Red maggot clip. Getting lost here. Too much metal around the bait. Fox are betting for the foam hook replacement. Better, you mean, Paul? I've just bought some. I've been trying to get hold of the Fox Zigger line of stuff for ages, and I'm running out of mine. And I bought some bank tackle ones. I had them on here last week. I showed them on the last video, like, so I started using them now. I lost my last yellow Fox one in the week, and it just got damaged, so it's gone. It's a goner, like, so I've switched over now to bank tackle ones. I haven't had a bite on the bank tackle one yet, but I'm sure I will. I only used it for an hour or so on Tuesday night, but I will endeavour to get a few bites on the bank tackle one, and I'm sure it's going to go off. It's just foam, isn't it? And the actual holder itself is very, very similar. So hopefully it'll be alright, but I will try and get some more stuff. I definitely want to try the pink bank tackle lead at shod stuff is spot on. Yeah, they seem to have a lot of cheap stuff as well. Like, I noticed the hooks are a lot cheaper. The price of hooks nowadays like £6 or £7 a pack. A lot of people are asking, and theirs is like £3.5 a bank tackle. So they are at least, you know, reasonably priced, if nothing else. It takes a lot for me to praise a tackle company. Sorry, I just got a notification, like, of a comment on my channel, or a like. Right, where are we? Everyone loves the pink. Of course we do, mate. And use a hook that doesn't shine or glare. Actually, I go the opposite way, Frank. I mainly use a size 10 super specialist, which is gold in colour, and I've had absolutely no problem getting bites on that, mate, everywhere I've been. That £35 fish in the Cromwell video, if you've seen the Cromwell video on my Carp channel, that £35 fell to a gold size 10 Drennan super specialist, and that's a well-fished zig water. So, I've been using zigs, have been in use, heavy use on there for a long time, like, and everywhere I've gone I've caught on the gold hooks, so I'm quite happy to stick with them, mate. How do you feel about taking a risk on bank tackle hooks? Well, I haven't yet, Paul. I don't know. At the moment, like, I've got a couple of hooks I use. Like, if I'm zig fishing, I've used super specialists. They're as old as the hills. I mean, I was using those hooks 35 years ago. Longer than that even, I think. I was using them in the 80s. They, strong, reliable, still the same. And at about £1.60 a pack, something like that. They do for me zigs. Still got the Camazan B175s, again, a box just under a tenner for 100 hooks, dirt cheap. And the only expensive hook I use is Corda Curves. I quite like the Corda Curves in the smaller sizes, so like 10s and 12s are pretty good. Apart from that, I generally just stick to the same patterns of hook. Sorry, that's another comment. It's the comment's coming up and it's going over the chat, so I'll just get rid of it. I'll answer later. So yeah, they're the patterns of hook I use the most. I'm confident in them and I like them. Most of the ones that are out nowadays, I don't bother with. I have got some Fox zig and floater hooks, but I haven't used them yet. But I think bank tackle would be worth a look, for £3.5 a pack of hooks, compared to £6-7 for the with carp tacks on. I'd say they're worth a look. I'd be quite happy to try them anyway. Got loads of pink mark users for popping up. Yeah. The only baits I've got in pink are Northern Specials. I've got some Northern Special wafter barrels, which are pink, and to be honest, they're quite good. Catch a lot of fish on them. But that's the only pink bait I've got. But I know pink works quite well at depth. There's a video on YouTube somewhere, and it shows you different colours on a board. And a diver going deeper in the water, and the deeper he goes, you can see the colours changing. And one that stands out most as you get deeper is pink, believe it or not. Don't know why, but so I'm quite keen to get hold of some pink foam for the zigs, to use in the lower layers. For snowmans. For snowman, I still use a B175 for a snowman. Very fussy with me hooks, mate. I don't like changing them. I've got loads of different patterns here. I've tried the SP ones and all sorts. I buy them, try them, but then end up going back to what I know because I've got confidence in them. What's Danny doing? Fished a pole for £10 plus a silvers and 2 bream. Sunday waggler for carp. Getting ahead now. You'll soon be able to travel again, Danny. Next Monday, mate. You can go where you want. The world will be your oyster. Yeah, well, like I said, Paul, the first thing and only thing I've bought from Bank Tackle is the zig stuff, the zig liner. And I got 8 in a pack. 2 black, 2 yellow, 2 red, 2 orange. And it cost a couple of quid less than the Fox one that you only got red, yellow and red, yellow and black for. So you'd only got 6 in a Fox, so you got a quarter more for a quarter less. Which is why I bought it. Part says they do some good gear. Just on eBay ordered 3 Fox Sid kits. they're about 12 quid, aren't they, Ian? Those Zig kits. Are you talking about the floats or the Zig kit itself? if you're gonna fish it in, then you've got to commit to it. You know, this they'll tell you like just doing it on one rod isn't enough. You should commit to it like with 2 or 3. If you're on a 2-rod water, use both on zigs, and if you're on a 3-rod water, just go all out on them. That's what I did at Cromwell. I just went all out, just fished 3 zigs, all set all the time I was there, just 3 bits of foam in the layers, different layers. Pink foam sold out everywhere, yeah. Bang tackle, some good gear. That tried the hooks. Boris needs to brush his hair. Called a captive wide mixer curve. Called a captive wide mixer curve. Is that a pattern of a hook or something, parts? Or is it 4 patterns of hook? Called a captive, called a wide, called a mixer, called a curve. Foam, it's madness. Yeah. Yeah, I'll get hold of some pink foam eventually. Like it, I suppose it's just a case of waiting for the delivery, but they're not coming through, are they? Because there's a big super tanker stuck in the Suez Canal. I don't know whether you'd all seen that on the telly, but we're not getting any deliveries from the Far East. Not why all the boats are in a car park. Right, let's get rid of my cup. 4 patterns. I thought so. I was thinking, that's not a pattern of hook. It's 4 patterns. It's when you're reading it, it all depends how you interpret it, doesn't it? Booked on a ballasted water for the 10th. Not fishing Easter. No, I'm a bit wary of Easter, Rob. I'm inclined to give it a miss. When is it? Is it the 4th or 5th of April, something like that? Or 3rd and 4th of April, Easter? You buy 3 at 11.18 each. Yeah, the kit doesn't mean anything to me, Ian. Is it the float with all the bits for the lead, or is it the zig aligner for the hook end? When you say kit, which one? Evening, Will. You all right, mate? We're talking about band tackle again. The weekend of the 4th is Easter. Right, okay. So although we're out of lockdown on the 29th, I probably won't get fishing then until the 11th. Something like that. Because I don't really fancy going out over Easter, just coming out of lockdown. I mean, even without a lockdown, Easter is probably one of the most worst days of the year for going fishing, because every clown comes out. It's like they fire the starting pistol on the wacky races, and anyone with a fishing rod turns up at the lake for Easter weekend for bank holiday. It's heralding of the nod rush, if you like, after winter. And lately, like the last couple of years, I've not bothered going. I've just thought, you know what, it's you get so many people on the lakes, everywhere's chocker, and you end up driving around looking for a swim and giving up because you can't find one. So I might just skip Easter, go do some work on the house or something like that instead. I've never used Riverside Angling quick change rings, Gizmo. Never heard of them, mate. Don't even know who Riverside Angling are. A weekday season ticket at a local lake, to avoid the busy weekends. Nice one, Paul. Yeah, it is, mate. It's going to be well crazy. You're all good. Yeah, bank tackle. Someone was asking, would we take a risk on the hooks? Well, you buy little bits from bank tackle. Like I've just got the zig bits that you saw last week, Will. And but would we, try the hooks out? Have you tried them? I think you might have, for some unknown reason. Like I think you've bought a bit of stuff off them, haven't you? Predator fishing was 2nd and 5th. Right, cheers Gizmo. So the 2nd is Friday and the 5th is Monday, right? Is that right? I got a text off the fitter who's fitting my new bathroom. I took delivery of a bathroom earlier on today. And the fitter who's fitting it said he's starting on the 5th. But it's bank holiday. Until mob. Yeah, I like the wacky races as a kid. Like I always liked this Dick Dastardly and Muttley. They were my favourite characters. Fishing UK Glasgow, all right, mate. Carp Jacker, good to see you. Hectic Easter weekend. The weather change also has a lot to do with it. With lockdown, will also be added to it. Yeah, it will, mate. It's just going to be horrendous, isn't it? Easter weekend. Johnny Tosh from Chasing Chunks put a picture on Chasing Chunks of a lake, and it's just got little pictures with his hands up like that of Noddy all around the lake, and the caption on it read Easter weekend. And I looked at it and thought, yeah, maybe I shouldn't bother going. Defo take the risk on the hooks. The wide gapes are bang on. 20 for £5. Sharp and strong. Nice one, Will. That's what we like to hear. 2nd, 3rd and 4th. That's right, yeah, you've got the DNA bug, haven't you, Ian? Be interesting to see how you get on with that, mate. I've got to say, the S7, I've been hedging my bets lately at the brickworks where I've been fishing because it's a deep water. So the margins are like 10 feet deep in the edge, straight off your rod tip, 10 foot. So I've been dropping a bait in the edge with a boilie on, and I've been using DNA S7 for my bottom baits, and the other rod has gone out on a zig in the middle to test the layers to see if we can find them in the layers. And I've just been like, baiting the trap in the edge, waiting for them to come round when it goes quiet, and searching with the zig. And that's what I do over the 5 or 6 hour session on the brickworks. And the zig's done well. I think I've had about 45% of my fish. I don't know how many fish I've had. Like it's about somewhere between 22 and 25. I'm losing count because some of them are small and they don't get weighed and photographed. They just get released. So I've had about 22 to 25 fish, something like that, and I think 45% have come on zig, 55 on the bottom on DNA S7. So I quite like it. The S7's doing really well, Ian. So it's I've got to say, big thumbs up for DNA. I wasn't sure about it, like, because I'm such a committed Scopex squid user, because the squid's got a track record second to none. So yeah, it's good. Right, okay, Paul's going to take a look. I might try some of their hooks as well, like if they're that cheap. Currently making my own hook baits. We'll give you a shout when I have some samples. What are you using, Paul, for your hook baits? Are you doing like a Polaris pop-up mix or something like that? Any size? My fish, Danny, the mainly, I'd say average size is probably like £9. something like that. I've had quite a few 8s, a few 9s, a few 10s. My biggest fish this week has been £12 4, so they're not massive by any stretch. The biggest one I've had in the last few weeks, like since I started fishing again, is a £13 common. So I had a 13 and a 12 4, and a few 11s, a few 10s, a few 9s, a few 8s. I don't think I've had much smaller than £8. Might have had one about 6, but most have been like 8 to 9. Unfortunately, as far as fishing goes on the Wirral, apart from like a £450 a year syndicate on Raby Mere, Morton Brickworks, with its average size of £9, is one of the highest averages of fish on Wirral. Which says everything really about why I go to Cheshire to do me fishing. Bit of both, Rob. There's the Zigger line, and of course on mixed and on both at the moment and matching. So I've got a yellow foam with a yellow holder, but I've had yellow on black or black on yellow, whichever way around you want to call it, and that's done well. Mix and match it, mate, if you want, or just use whatever you've got. Red line of black foam, yeah, I've done that as well in the past. Not caught on that one yet, but yeah, you can do whatever you want, mate. So most of the time I don't mix them. I might try it now and again, like just think, oh yeah, I'll swap the foam over and see what it's like, keep the same holder, change the colour, mix it up. That's it, only if I'm not getting bites though, but I'll leave them as they are, and I'll only swap them if I've been through the layers and got nothing. I might try a different colour, mix and match my colours. Canal baited again tonight on the way home. What with Danny, bait or pebbles? Hookwise, pre-quorum, use the experts. Let's go back on blog, 150 a pack. Yeah. I think any hooks that are around 150 or 160 are reasonably priced these days for 10, aren't they? That's why I like the Drennan Super Specialists. So cheap. 160 for 10. Got a few bits from Bank Tackle, hooks, swivels, choddocks, wide gapes, putty, quick change, heli swivels. All the way cheaper and just the same. Do a run through a bits on my next video. Yeah, that'd be a good idea, Will. Just go through the bits like and have a look at them and see what you think. I'm trying something different, recipe boilie hook baits at the moment, testing them and they're going alright. Using those chef recipes. Right, okay. Danny's used Bank Tackle as well and never had an issue. Fair play, mate. The only stuff I've had so far are the zigs, but I'm not. I've not caught on them yet. Like I said, I've only used one for an hour on Tuesday after I lost the last of my fox ones. But I don't think it's gonna be. I don't think it's not gonna catch. Like next time I go, I expect to catch on it. What clubs would you recommend joining? Where are you, Mr. T? All depends where you are. Well, it doesn't. It doesn't depend where you are. It doesn't matter. I mean, I live in Wirral, and I've been in most of them, mate. I've been in all the top clubs in Wirral, all the famous ones that everybody knows about. I've been in a lot, and have I arranged them with order. I was actually going to do a video on this. I had an idea to do a video on what club would you fish for carp? What club would you join, and why? And I was going to like list the top 5 clubs that I prefer, and put it out as a video, but I never got round to it. But you'll not get in the top one. I'll tell you that for the fact, Mr. T, because the waiting list is closed. You just can't get on it, and that's Wheelock. They are by far and away the best club in Cheshire. Liverpool, right, yeah, okay. See, there's not much around Liverpool, mate. If you're like me, I'm stuck in Wirral, you're stuck in Liverpool. The carp waters we've got around us are crap, all of them. Unless you pay through the nose to fish somewhere like Broom's Cross. You've got to head out into Cheshire if you want to catch 20s or bigger. You have to head to Cheshire. Oh, Danny's retracted something about the fruit lake. And as far as Cheshire goes, Wheelock's the best club in Cheshire, but the waiting list is closed and it's dead man's shoes. After that, Prince Albert, next best club. After that, you've kind of got a choice. Warrington, Northwich, Winsford, either of those 3. My preference at the moment is Warrington. They've got some good fish and some good waters, and they have a good stocking policy as well, which the other 2 don't seem to have. They're buying 20s every year, C5 fish, and stocking them into the waters. So, you know, a couple will go in Grey Mist, a couple into Sandy Way, a couple into whatever other places they've got. And they're topping up the big fish every year, Warrington. So I would put them 3rd, and then Northwich or Winsford 4th and 5th. Can't get Nash 8mm plastic swivel bait screws. I don't even know what a Nash 8mm plastic swivel bait screw is, I'll be honest, Gizmo. I ain't never used one of them before. All I can think when I'm looking at what you're writing there is, why don't you have a walk around B&Q and see what you can find? Take one if you've got a spare and go around the shelves of B&Q and see what you can pick up. Danny's retracted something else. Oh no, he didn't. He did something about, oh no, there we go, baited the canal with bait. A head torch gleaming, if you know where to look. Right, okay, yeah, fair enough, understood. Black and yellow zigs. When the wasps arrive. There's a bee's nest on one of the pegs on Morton Brickworks where they've been going. There's a bee's nest, and literally they've just come to life this week. I was sitting there, and all I could hear was bzzz, bzzz above my head as they were on the trees. You know, like the buds are starting to come out, and they were trying to get pollen off the trees. Fruit Lake busy again, so just thinking of spewing WAA. To be honest, Danny, it's only 50 quid a year. Frog season, get on the black foam, yeah. Just looks like a tadpole. I don't know whether you've all seen it, but I put a YouTube short on this channel a couple of days ago. A toad, literally, they literally just come out of nowhere. There was toads all over the place. Big females underneath with a little one clung to it, waiting for his chance to get his leg over. And the toad, they're all over the place, swimming in the lake, hopping around on the paths and stuff like that, like absolutely loads of them. So yeah, it'll be soon be time for a black zig. Lim, if you want to join 2022. Yeah, Lim's got a waiting list now, haven't they? Because they've capped their membership. But I'll be honest, Danny, they're not in my top 5. The most prolific bait this winter and spring, obviously since you've been let out. Well, I've only caught on 2 baits, Paul. A piece of yellow foam, which has done about 45% of me fish, and DNA S7 corkers. These DNA baits, corker range pop-ups, S7 or Secret 7 as they're called. It's there on the thing if you can see it. Secret 7. They've done 55% of me fish, the DNA corkers. Good baits. So yeah, the DNA and the yellow foam, the only baits I've caught on, the only baits I've used in the last 4 weeks, mate. Don't ignore Northwich and Winsford for the price. Some good kippers to go at, absolutely. Northwich in particular has got, one of their waters has got 340s in it. It's bloody hard, but they're there. And obviously Winsford has the Hole, the water called the Hole, which has produced a genuine £40 Cheshire leather. It's not £40 anymore. I think it's around about 37, 38 at the moment. Last time it was caught. But those 2 clubs, and they've got, obviously Winsford's got Top Flash as well, and they've both got sections of the Weaver, which are really good for carp fishing. I've fished both Northwich and Winsford sections of the Weaver, and had carp out of both. Spring is defo here. Yeah, it was 14 or 15 degrees today. I was gardening outside this afternoon in just this t-shirt. I was too hot. Tidying up the garden and brushing up around the house, and it's great. Keeps the meat on in the flow. Right, okay, Gizmo. Yeah, I've never used one, mate. Like I said, try B&Q. They have all kinds of screws with it, like a loop and stuff like that. Basically, because that's basically all boilie screws are, aren't they? They keep boilies on, things like that, or meat screws. You can usually pick them up. They're just bits and pieces from B&Q that are repackaged. And probably not even from B&Q. They just get them somewhere cheaper. S7 and SLK. I've not used the SLK, Will. I just bought the S7, but I've got to say, it's proven to be quite a good bait. So thumbs up for DNA. Method feeder cast very few times with Hinder's boilie crumb. Had 4 tonight in 2 hours. Yeah, that's an easy water though, isn't it, Danny? You guarantee, pretty much guaranteed to catch fish every visit there. I've actually had a couple of blanks on the brickworks as well. And a lot of the lads fishing there haven't had a fish this year. I'm not quite sure what they're doing not to catch him, but they certainly don't crawl up your rods on there. Got a suntan today. Yeah, simple mouthful trap. Always works, mate. Just tweak bread and crumb depending on the temperatures. Yeah, Winsford, it's got the hole is hard water, very deep as well. I think it goes down to about 50 foot. Most of it's over 30 foot deep. But there are some real Cheshire treasures in that lake. topped by the leather. I think there's about 4 or 5 30s in there. Very difficult water. You're looking at 1 or 2 fish a season, something like that. Very, very difficult. But you know, who dares wins and all that kind of stuff. Can't beat experience. Yeah, absolutely. All waters are easy once you work out what the fish want. Yeah, to an extent, Danny, yes. And the waters that don't have a big stock of fish, though, mate, sometimes you'd have to wait until they want it. Not just a case of working it out, it's a case of going back and going back and going back until they do want it. It's easy to catch if it's stuffed full of fish. You're off, Pods. Right, okay, mate. Cheers. Speak to you soon. No extends about it. Find where you are, feed them and catch them. Well, Danny, I've said this before, mate, and you declined. Why don't you go and have a crack at one of the known circuit waters, like Shakily Mere, and let's see you find where they are, feed them and catch them. Hard work to hold, but you do get the place to yourself a number of times. Yeah, it is hard work, and one of my mates fished it last year, Will, and he didn't catch anything. He was baiting it. He was baiting it as well. He was putting bait in, but he never did catch one. It wasn't for lack of trying, and he was watching the water and looking for the fish and all that kind of stuff, but he never did work the place out. I know he was going to go back and have another go this year, but I think he's decided to go somewhere else instead. I don't know. He might leave it till later in the year, you know, like September onwards or something like that. How many did he put in, Danny? Some people overthink it. Big bream shoals as well. Yeah, I know there's a few snotties in there. There's a couple of catfish as well, isn't there? I believe there's a price on the catfish as well. Had one in 16 nights and that came under the rod tips when he found the patrol route. Yeah, and I think that's what you've got to do in there, Will, isn't it? $35 with more ordered. Right, okay. I know it has a decent stock of fish in it anyway, Danny. I know someone who fished it, and he's catching plenty around 15 to 16 pound mark, but not much bigger. The cats are in Ryan Hill now from Shakily. Are they? Right, okay. What a shame. I don't like to see water stocked with catfish. I know, of course, a few of them, and I've fished for them in the past. And there's a few videos old videos on my main channel about catfishing and how stupidly easy it was. But I just don't like seeing them stocked into carp waters. If I was to do a campaign, it would be Nunsmere. Right, okay. Not sure what's in there, Danny. Have you stocked that as well, mate, or is that just natural and not much in it? I've got no idea what's in Nunsmere. circuit water's full of people, not your thing, but the carp in there are very educated, Danny. They're used to seeing baits and you're used to seeing rigs, and if there's any weakness in your setup, they'll exploit it and they'll get away with murder. Basically, it's that's why those waters become quite difficult in the first place. And you know, it's a step up, taking on a circuit water, because it's not just you against the fish, it's you against the anglers as well. Like, that's a step up. That's why you love your rivers, yeah. Still some old special ones in Nuns, plus the stockfish. Have you had a look around it, Will? I have no idea what's in there. Someone showed me a few fish from Catchpenny the other week, like, but they were just doubles. I know there's some bigger fish in there, like, but he'd done quite a bit of time and just caught a few doubles. Yeah, why we're here anyway, I've got a whatchamacallit here. You fish 52 weeks a year, and I've done for 10 years, weekly vlogging. I think I've proven enough. No, mate, you haven't. You haven't proven anything. You haven't stepped up yet. Until you can step up onto those waters, Danny, because they're the peak of Cheshire carp fishing. Those circuit waters. They're hard and they're demanding, and you have not stepped up, mate. You can fish as often as you want, 52 weeks a year, and you can do that for the rest of your life, but you will not have stepped up. You need to step up. I'm sorry, like, but that's the way it is. Just put your name on, just put my name on Lim's list, right, Gizmo? Yeah. Fished it 25 years ago, see how it's changed. Fair play, mate. They have got some decent waters these days, like they're stocking the waters and getting on with it, and some of them are coming on quite well. Do they have a couple of waters named the Hole on the Winsford card? No, Mr. T, they just have one. Well, I think there's one anyway. I think it's called Trelford's Hole, round the back of Top Flash. Very, very deep. Banks are unstable. Fish at your own risk. There's quite often bank slips when big sections of bank fall in, and it's like I said, it's 52 feet deep in the middle. What do you mean I've never caught net dace? Danny, I spent most of my early years fishing for dace, roach, chub, fish like that up until 1989. I'd been fishing for over 15 years when I took carp fishing up. I had a pole, I had a feeder rod, I had everything like that. Been there, done that. Been a few times thinking of getting my name down, but only for the other waters are good, but fished them all. Yeah, well, if you've been in a while, then it's time to move on, Will, isn't it? Cheers, Paul. Yeah, no scrambling around on Cound, Marbury, Osmere or Station. I don't know, Rob, actually. I think that this Easter weekend you might scramble on all of them. You'll certainly scramble on Cound, because that's turned into a bit of a circus. Now where did the 50-pounders got out? It's a bit of a circus now, unfortunately. But again, it's deep, and a lot of people just aren't cut out for fishing those kind of waters. Yeah, take it easy, Paul. Cheers, mate. When am I going to post a £30 net of dates? I'm not going to. Don't need to prove myself. I've already done it. You know, I've been carp fishing now for 30 years, Danny. You're not going to do it. Not going to go back to Mickey Mouse fishing again. Martin Hole and Tommy's Hole. There you go. It's Martin Hole. It's the one you want. You're right, Mark. What about Rob? Yeah, that leather's a cracker, Ian. It's one of the most sought after fish in Cheshire. Well, you'd think it would be anyway, but a lot of people are put off by the walk. There's not many swims to fish on it, only about 5 or 6, something like that. Some of them aren't quite safe. And like I said, it's very, very deep. Wasn't there multiple double figure canal carp with 20 on my channel recently? Yeah, it is, Danny. Easy fishing on the canal, mate. The green is the grass. They're not rig shy. That's rivers and canals are some of the easiest fishing in our region, mate. Do they both hold older fish? And are they both hard waters? Well, the Martin Hole certainly is a hard water. It does hold other fish. Like I said, there's 4 or 5 30s in there, besides the leather. And count. Sorry, I'm lost now. You ain't looking for record-breaking fish, Gizmo. No. Some waters just they take a lot of time to crack, mate, either because there's not many fish in them, or because the angling pressure on them's intense, and they can be quite difficult. I don't mind fishing them, but I've got to be in the mood for it. I've got to get the bit between my teeth. Yeah, it's not a runs water, Danny. Why don't you go there and try and catch one, mate? The donuts rock hard. Donuts changed, mate. There's a lot of fish in there, yeah, but I tell you what, they're very, very rig shy. You know, with 8 or 10 bivvies on it all the time, permanently. They're absolutely paranoid, and they're very, very difficult to catch these days. I blanked my arse off on there last year, Danny. It's actually really difficult water. I've already fished there, Danny. Fished there 20 years ago, Sandmere. That's not as easy as it was. Again, 30 years ago it was one of PA's best runs water. Nowadays the lads are doing 24 hours on there and blanking. Ironically, Danny, if you went on Sandmere, your methods and tactics of that feeder, you would probably catch more than the carp lads, because they're all blinkered towards boilies. And the lads, I've seen lads go on there and fish the feeder with pellets on the hook and batter it. It's ironic, isn't it? Trent carp are few and far between. Yeah, and the thing is though, Gizmo, there's a lot of angling pressure on the Trent as well. I know a few lads who've been, and they said it's like the wacky races, like a holiday camp where people camped out on there. There's a few carp in the Trent. They're not that rare, but there's an awful lot of angling pressure on there. Yeah, that's it, Graham. If there's anglers on the bank 24/7, they soon get to know what a hook is, and they learn even better how to avoid them. Martin Holes, it's 70 feet. I thought it was 52, Will. But I'll give you that one, mate. I don't know for sure. I've never actually been over it with a deeper myself, so I can't say for sure. But I thought 52. Steep drop-offs. Very old fish. Yeah. Martin Hole is not just about the leather. Yeah. It has got some stunning fish in that hole. It's big, dark, fat mirrors. Yeah, the high bank above the snags, yeah. I think my mate spent a lot of time up there looking down. Yeah, it's got a fence around it now, Ian. Agreed, yeah, it's like the wacky races, isn't it? Especially by the bridge. Can't remember the name of the stretch. Is the A5 behind the back of A1 pits or something like that? It's like a holiday camp. Yeah, it was rammed with fish back then, but like you said, the otters took a load. PA have stocked it a couple of times since. The otter fence, the gate to the otter fence was left open twice, and the otters just walked straight in and did more damage. But it's back to where it was now, but it's I tell you what, it's had so much angling pressure on it over the last few years that it's gone really hard. I used to average 2 or 3 fish a visit in the early days on a donut. Last year I was getting 1 in 10 visits. That's how much the catch rates have collapsed, and I just literally just couldn't buy a bite, or you'd just get a knock on the rod tip and they'd be gone because they'd do you over. The fishing's gone really, really difficult on there. Yeah, a few good sized commons in the hole, yeah. Tommy's is singles, doubles and coarse fish. I always wondered what was in Tommy's hole. I actually thought they were both the same place. I've heard of some people called the hole Tommy's hole. Trelfa's hole was another one, and I always thought they were all the same place. I never even looked at the hole when I was a Winsford member. I only fished a weaver, which was ridiculously easy fishing for carp on the river. It's a bit like the canal. You just bait up and bait up and bait up and then wait for them to come to you. Anyway, I've teed up here. I've had a few fish lately. This is from this week. I think it was, I can't remember if it was Monday or Tuesday. It was Monday. That's the biggest fish I've had out the brickworks in the last week or so. Nice pretty little mirror. Nice fat belly. I think that fell to a DNA S7. Someone was asking me what bait had been using this spring. That fell to DNA S7, that one. Yeah, it's one of the nice clean ones. It's not exactly in perfect nick around the mouth, like there was a little tiny bit of damage, but nowhere near as much as some of the others, because there's a lot of parrots in the brickworks. The lads who fish there generally tend to fish to a snag. They go to the snaggiest swim on the lake. I think they call it the cage or something like that, and then they fish right up to the snags that are in it. Tighter the better, to get the runs. And I think they lose a lot of what they hook You know, your runs to catch ratio is not that high. 50-50, 60-40, something like that. So there's a lot in there with like gummy mouths, stuff like that. But that's the biggest I had this week. I think I had 3 out on Saturday, 3 on Monday, and 1 on Tuesday. And that was the biggest out of all of them, £12 for. I had another couple of doubles as well, like 11, 10. And but that was the biggest. And that came to a DNA S7 bait, just fished down the margins, just dropped into 10 feet of water with a handful of bait over it. And so I think it was only fishing an hour or two, like, and off it trundled. Happy days. The one good thing about the brickworks is, because it's deep, they fight really well. So even though they're only like 8 to 12 pound, they'll power away. And they'll power away and give you a good fight. Weekly vlog edit. Right, okay. Carp last week, silvers this week, keep it varied. Fair play, mate. Take it easy, Danny. Nice pasties, Dan. Yeah, that's all they are. It's all it is. Danny, a pasty water. There's nothing big in there. I think the biggest in the brickworks is maybe 15-16 pound. It's just somewhere to go in lockdown because it can't travel. As soon as I can travel, like, I won't be going back. Well, actually, I might go back and do some filming. Yeah, cheers, Ant. It was nice, clean fish, that, wasn't it? I just wish there was more like that and bigger, but unfortunately, it's not the best. Circus of Collingham, yeah, on the Trent, that's it. Collingham, that's the weir, isn't it? Collingham Weir, yeah. And the back of A1 is, I don't know if that's Collingham in the same place, I'm not quite sure. The Trent, like, it's not my area, but it's quite bad there as well. Stick with the Ebro. Why not? Too many catfish in the Ebro. Another river that got ruined. Loads of people fishing all over. This lockdown has become a joke. No, I don't see how fishing solo can spread COVID-19. Well, it can't, and that's the thing, isn't it? But we've all had to abide by the rules. I didn't fish at all for the first 6 weeks of the year, something like that. I went on between Christmas and New Year. I think the last session I had was the 30th of December, and then we went into lockdown and I stopped. Didn't go at all. I thought, you know what, I'm not going to bother joining a local water. There's nothing worthwhile bothering with, and I didn't. But 6 weeks later, I was so fed up of not being able to go and get out that I just thought, you know what, I'm going to go to Brickworks, and I joined there and started fishing there. Like, I paid for the season ticket. It cost me 80 quid for the season ticket. But I've already had my money's worth out of it, like, because it's a tenner a day, and I've done more than 10 sessions on it. So the sessions are getting cheaper now as I go along. I might go there tomorrow because I'm off work again this week. If not, I'll definitely go Friday or Saturday, one or the other, and then we're open again then, aren't we? I may go back one more time over Easter, maybe Monday, because everybody will clear off, won't they, on Monday? £5,000 fine for Monday for going abroad, is that right? I know they're saying like holidays are pretty much going to be out, aren't they? Which means, you know what that means, don't you? More people go fishing this year. Last year was terrible. Never seen so many people on the bank. And I've a sneaking suspicion this year is going to be the same. But yeah, I know people have been fishing all over in this lockdown, and I've heard rumours of people night fishing on private syndicates, like where nobody knows what's going on. People have been travelling over, length and breadth of the country and going night fishing like normal, just like they normally would, but they've just kept themselves to themselves and not told anyone. So I suppose if you can get away with it, fair enough, but if you get caught, you'll get the fine. I suppose to some, though, it's worth it, isn't it? 32 barbel out of the weir. Above the weir. Yeah. Well, it's prolific Collingham, isn't it? It's isn't it the home of the Trent record? Trent record barbel keeps getting caught there. Yeah, I started early, Will. I was 5 when I started. 5 years old. Started early, mate. It's detrimental to people's mental health, not being able to fish. Club waters, I don't see any reason to stop doing nights as well. No, I don't either, Ant, but that's what they did. They stopped us. And there's not a lot we can do about it. I would have carried on fishing if it wasn't for the bailiffs of PA. They decided to make themselves the police, and they were bailiffing the lakes and sending people home if they were more than a few miles away. And cause my nearest PA water's 20 miles away, basically I was stopped from going fishing. Otherwise I'd have just ignored it and carried on going. Yeah, they certainly, the commercial waters, if you look at the commercials, and if we ever end up in this situation again with another lockdown, look to the commercials, because they don't give a monkeys, they're just interested in the money. So if you've travelled for more than 5 miles, they won't care. All they'll care about is that you paid them to fish. So look at the commercials, because a lot of them couldn't give a monkeys. Man was £15. Sorry, what was £15, Gizmo? I got lost. What was 15 quid, mate? I love cheap bits. I just don't think fishing should cost that much, and I think there's too many people trying to scam people. Oh, this bait's great and that bait's great and all the rest of it. And I just, no. They're all like snake oil salesmen. Just say a very well-known day ticket and syndicate water in Shropshire has been renting his water out for exclusive through lockdowns. Yeah, and I can guess who that is. It sounds like you've heard the same thing I have, Will, but I'm not going to say any more. And never should you. Yeah, what PA did, and was crazy. I agree, but they are what they are. And I couldn't go fishing, but the brickwork saved me a little bit. Like, I've had plenty of runs in the last month or so. Like, I'm quite happy with the fish I've caught. Like, I've actually done quite well on there, but the standard of angler on there is not high, so I found it quite easy going. Tad, HG. I don't quite know how to spell that, how it's pronounced, mate, sorry. Favourite fish is a carp. Everyone in here, their favourite fish is a carp. Or most of us are anyway. Graham might choose barbel, I suppose. But we all like our carp fishing. Yeah, you got no chance, Will. Designer labels. Yeah, if you've not been at all, Graham, I got fed up, mate, and just joined the local water. You must have a local pond or somewhere within 5 miles of you that you could possibly go to, even if it's just for a bit of float fishing. I was fortunate enough to have the brickworks, which has got loads of carp in. Secret Portland Basin. Right, okay. No answer. No, no experience of the Warrington stretches of the Severn at all. To be honest, I was thinking of looking at them myself, having a walk of them in the summer, because I need to find somewhere to film a next barbel video, because I can't do PA anymore because they've got a filming ban. So I'm in Warrington, and obviously I've got access to their stretches, which are around Montford Bridge area, around something like that. And I was planning to have a look at them, like, and see if they're worth filming on. But I haven't got round to it, and I don't even know what they look like. Fancy a trip down, I'll tag along. I'll let you know if I'm going, mate. It's not a cast iron thing at the moment. It's just something that I'm going to need to do. I'll have to look at their stretches of the Severn. I'll have to find somewhere to go to film the barbel fishing. I know for a fact I turned a week down last year, but that's the way it goes. Yeah. It's not good. Birmingham AA on the Severn, yeah. Hampton Load. That's quite a good spot, isn't it? I know a few people who go to Hampton Load regularly, and they always seem to do quite well. Don't want to go down that far if I can. I'd rather stick to the middle. Don't really want to go much further than Montford Bridge-ish, or the Isle. But obviously I can't film on the Isle. It's difficult to know what to do, but I've got to find somewhere to go anyway. I need to find a new stretch of the Severn. I was spoilt for choice on PA. There's so many of them, like, and they're all good. But nowadays, like, I can't film on their waters no more. So I'll have to look at Warrington, because that's the only other ticket I've got really that has access to the Severn. Don't get me wrong, I can still fish the PA side, and I still will when I'm just fishing for myself. But if I need to make a film, I've got to do it on someone else's. Free stretch of Bridge North. Yeah, I don't want to go down that far, Graham. Too much of a hike. Why don't they allow filming? They stopped it, and a few people took exception to Danny filming on the Ribble. He came in for a lot of flack for it. Danny took a load of flack, and a guy called Carl G took a load of flack as well. And between the pair of them, like, I think they're two of the most hated people in PA. They took an awful lot of stick, and eventually, like, they banned the filming, and you're not allowed to film on there anymore, which is a shame, because I'd done loads. A lot of my videos were on PA waters before the ban come in, like, but I kept it quiet and nobody knew, because I have a policy of not naming waters, and keeping a low profile and keeping my head down. But Danny and Carl didn't, and it's like poking a hornet's nest. And they banned it in the end. But that's the way it is. There's plenty of other waters that do allow filming, like, so I've got another couple of tickets waters I can film on. I don't have to do it on PA. So I can go to the brickworks, which is day ticket water, then anyone can fish. That'd be quite useful, because you're always going to catch a few fish on there as well, like, so it's good for demonstrating methods and stuff like that. Warrington, no problem on there either. So I've got a few places I can go to. Yeah, PA's worth joining, mate. One of the best clubs in Cheshire. Loads of waters. Got over, I think, about 220 waters. Rivers, lakes, all sorts of fishing. Good carp waters. Wrong place to be naming waters on PA. Yeah, that's it. They don't like them being named. And there was, I know there's a few people who were, I think Danny was fishing the bailiff's favourite swim on the Ribble and filming in it. And yeah, he didn't like it. Danny will tell you about it, like, if he was here, if he was still here, like, he'd tell you about it. But yeah, it all got stopped. They decided enough was enough. And that was the end of that. It's a shame, really, like, because I was quite happy just staying under the radar and doing, like, the particles and stuff like that, the particle films, and like methods and tactics and stuff like that. I would do good waters for demonstrating things like that on, but it's gone. Right, here, Danny's back, and nobody did name a water. Bailiff got scared, his clique was being exposed. There you go. He's fishing in the bailiff swim. Yeah. No, you did, mate. You did. You stuck to the rules, and fair play for you for that. You didn't name the waters, and you were allowed to film, and you didn't do anything wrong technically. But I think the clique just wanted you silenced, mate. Unfortunately, they silenced me as well in the process. No one can name a rule I broke. That's because you didn't break any, mate. But at the end of the day, you riled the wrong people. And that was that. Just the way it is. Good mile from the car park. Yeah. As Will said, PA's worth joining. Love Hatchmere. I did a lot of time on Hatchmere in the early days of my PA membership. It was one of the waters I joined to fish. There was no 30s in it back then, but there was quite a few 20s, and I had a few of the fish outs that are well known today. Rules are rules, yeah. No, it hasn't hurt you. No, but peace and quiet resumed for the clique though, Danny. They don't have to worry about you anymore. I will be filming the bailiff peg this year on the Ribble. Yeah, but which one? Not PA, surely. Yeah, the Ribble clique didn't like you, Danny. That's all it was, isn't it? And the carp angling clique didn't like Carl G either. 30 quid. Oh yeah, from the opposite bank. Right, okay, yeah. 30 quid well spent. Fair play, mate. Yeah, that's the funny thing about it, isn't it? You go on the opposite bank and can't do nothing about it. Oh dear. Yeah, can fish in peace and quiet. Yeah. Yeah, there's always a click on there. Well, it was the same click when it was Stoke as well, mate. It's always been one on there, just because it's one of the most well-known circuit waters in Cheshire, isn't it? In fact, it may be the most well-known. Fort on Reedsmere. It's coming good again, Gizmo. It went through a bit of a barren period where a lot of the older fish died off. At one stage a few years ago, there was only one or two 30s left in there. But they've been putting fish in, trickling them in over the years, like, and the fish that Jeff's putting in are starting to come through and come on, and it's on the rise again. I'm actually thinking of fishing there myself this year. I haven't decided yet, but it's certainly it's on my mind to go and have a crack at the place myself. So it's good, mate. It's got a decent number of 30s in it again, and yeah, I may well have a go at it. Never actually fished there. I did once in the 90s when it was Stoke, but apart from that, I never really got on with. I don't like waters that are too clicky myself. And although I know most of the people who are in the click, or half of them, I still don't like the mobile phone fishing. You know what I mean. It's just people were ringing each other up, stitching pegs up, stuff like that. Lots of little antics like that go on places like that. And yeah, but it's coming good again, and I fancy giving it a crack. I'm looking at the place and studying it and trying to work out when they're vulnerable to attack. Because I'm not a night angler. I don't bother doing nights. I just fish days. So I need them to be in certain areas of the lake where I can get a bait in front of them for a few hours in order to catch one. But yeah, it's a good lake, mate. It's probably top of the tree in Cheshire fishing. You know, you can catch fish from Reedsmere, then you can catch them from anywhere. It's a low stock of fish and a lot of people chasing them, and a lot of good anglers chasing them as well, like not noddies. So it's certainly a water where you'd need to be on top of your game. PA has ended and I put out twice as many barbel logs. Yeah, pics on Insta. Yeah, there's loads of pics on Instagram. They can't police it, Danny. It's easy for them to see your videos because people will just send them link to it and say, Danny's doing this, it's against the rules. You know, they're just waiting for you to put a foot out of line. But on Instagram, like, it's Instagram is the click, isn't it? Had a high 20 in early 2000 and 3 chaps walking around never spoke to me again. Yeah, sounds about right. You going, Ant? Tight lines, mate. Cheers. Speak to you soon. Yeah, apart from the click, which you don't have to be in, you can just go and do your own thing, like, and get on with it. Then I think it's fine. Reedsmere. It's got some good lads fishing it. Got a few swim maps and depth maps and reads. Yeah, I've got all them. Easy to obtain online. I've got them, Rob. Got them all. And probably a few more that haven't been put online. Perks of being in the click, mate. In reality is, and I would never do it, but you go on the 7 barbel fishing on PAS, no one would have a clue you was on PAS. Yeah, and I think that's true. I think some people would, Danny, the guys who fish those stretches very, very regularly and know them inside out, but they're few and far between, not that many people, and a lot of people wouldn't know. Yeah, just keep moving. got to stay mobile and find those fish. You could easily film if you wanted to and not worth the risk. No, I'm not going to risk it, Danny. I'm going to have a look at the Warrington stretches and see what they're like. So I will not bother doing a barbel video on PA water again. I won't bother. Yeah. Yeah, keep yourself to yourself, and the best word you can use is had nothing, seen nothing. Well, you're absolutely right, Will, and that's what I like about that's what I like about the circuit waters. They're mentally, it sorts out the men from the boys. Do you know what I mean? They're mentally quite tough because no one's going to help you. You know, they're not going to say, "Oh, yeah, of course, a fish over there, mate. They're all stacked up in there. Just cast there at X amount of wraps on that spot and you'll get a run guaranteed." There's none of that. It's seen nouse, caught nouse, nothing's coming out, and you know, you basically you're on your own, and I like it when it's like that. Like Gizmo says, be mobile, watercraft prevails. Just having good sharp eyesight, spending more time watching than sitting in your bivvy would be helpful. They're usually around in some places. I've found them in the edge on Reedsmere. I've walked around like and found carp in the edge, an underarm chuck. But it's knowing where to look. But I've never actually fished a place, and that's what got me thinking about it. Like I'm toying with the idea of having a little go at it. Just some afternoon sessions. Same way of fish capes though. When I fished capes, like I just used to do the afternoons and into the evenings until dark. And I fancy doing the same, but on Reedsmere, and see if I can get one out. It'd be quite difficult being a day angler and having to compete with all the bivvy lads is going to be quite difficult on such a hard water. But a lot of the lads on Reedsmere are just camping. They're just camping and going through the motions. And I think those who focus on where the fish are and getting on them, they do well. And you can, I think you're better doing that on a short session than on a long one. So I fancy myself. I'd back myself to catch one. But we'll see. I haven't actually decided what I'm doing this. I mean, I know we come out of lockdown on the 29th, but I don't know where I'm going to go or what I'm going to go fishing for. I haven't even decided yet. I've got a few places that are possibilities, and I'm weighing them up. There's a couple more I'm going to look at and add to my list, but I haven't actually got a Scooby-Doo of what I'm going to do yet. Yeah, I've seen people on Tably just put fish back, no pics, just in case someone was watching. Now, I would never do that. I would always take a picture before I put it back, and then just say, "Nah, sorry mate, no pics." Oh, it was a bream. That's my favourite. It was a double figure bream and I've never caught one before. Hang on a sec. Yeah? Hang on a sec. I'll be back in a minute. Where was I? Camping and swims that don't fish when Frank was on there. Yeah, you get a lot of that, Will. You get a lot of people who follow people into swims after the result. A lot of people who get mobile phone calls, the fish are coming out, get on, and all of a sudden it's boomf, they're all in there. It's bizarre. I'm always mobile gizmo. I can move in minutes, mate. I've always been like that. Don't carry the kitchen sink. Soon we can night fish, indeed. I had black eye out at Tabley and said it was a tench when they came round in the morning and played them at their own game. Yeah, I did that on Hatchmere, Will. First time I went on there, it's a funny story this. Have you heard of Keith the Collar? Keith the Collar from Liverpool. He always used to wear a collar around his neck. And he's an old guy, like, all he ever did was moan about anything and everything. Oh, you don't want to fish here, it's rubbish, and you don't want to do this, and you don't want to do that. And he tried his damnedest to stop me and my mate from fishing Hatchmere. Oh, you'll not catch anything from here, it's a load of rubbish. And I said, well, what are you doing here? You know. And he wouldn't tell us what he'd caught, wouldn't show us any of his pictures or anything like that. First session on was just a day session. And I went in the rat hole, and there was no floating thing in the corner then. It wasn't roped off or netted off or anything like that. You could fish where you wanted. It was winter, the pads were down. I knew where the pads were, and I just cast into the pads with the pop-up. And I caught a fish, only fishing 2 hours, and I had a 21-pound mirror, which was like, apparently it was quite rare to catch him in the day, and even rarer in winter. So I was off to a flying start with this 21-pound mirror, and he come round and I say, "Hey, did you had one, lad?" I said, "Oh, I had a bream." So I caught a bream yesterday afternoon. I said, and he looked at me. He said, "No, it was a carp." The lad said it was a carp. No, I said it was a bream. I said, "No one came round. The only person who saw it was me." And he's looking at me like, and he's going like that. And it was hilarious, mate. We never told him. It took me 3 years to tell him that carp was £21, by which time we'd had all the information out of him that we needed. But he got a dose of his own medicine, and he didn't like it. It's quite funny. But yeah, that's my motto in life, mate. Do unto others as they do to you. So if you catch a fish and they blank you, then you don't tell them anything. You don't share any information with them, and don't tell them anything. And I'm quite happy to keep quiet about stuff if people are doing the same with me. So it swings and roundabouts, mate. But yeah, that was quite funny, that. And it's like that on Cape Thorn as well. Walked onto Cape Thorn the first time I went on there. Someone turned around and glared at me, and then just looked away. Thought, ooh, fishing's supposed to be a laugh. It's supposed to be funny. The day tickets I go on are just waiting your turn. That's right, mate. That's all it is. Just waiting your turn, isn't it? Till you get lucky. You cut your teeth on the Manchester Parks, right? Okay. I cut my teeth on Burton Mere, which was the local day ticket water. Again, like, everybody was hiding what they were doing and stuff like that. You never told anybody what you were up to. You tell them now, and that's the way it was. It's good days, and good times. Everybody has their own little secrets that they're doing. Things that they do, like, or things that they've seen, or they find a chink in the armour of the fish in their behaviour or something like that. You just keep it to yourself. Don't tell anyone. Yeah, happened to me on station. Hatch was full, went over the road, and local was scowling at me. Just let him scowl, mate. Station's one of the ones I'm thinking of, Rob. And I haven't decided yet, like, but I'm going to have a walk around and a look. And I fancy my chances on there too, mate. Little short sessions, find out where they are and try and get a bait to them. Yeah, I've got a few waters to look at, but I don't know what I'm going to do. Yeah, I need me deeper, yeah. Well, I've got one. And one of my mates actually deepered it last week. I won't tell you what he found. But yeah, if I can scav his map off him, like, I won't need to do it myself, but I can do it myself if I need to. But yeah, it's very deep, but the fish are there, mate, and they do come out now and again. I'm quite used to fishing deep waters as well, like, I quite like them. I'm starting to get on with them more and more as time goes on. It used to bother me at first, like, but since I've learned how to fish the zigs, they don't worry me so much these days. Right, my battery's nearly flat, lads, because this setup now runs on the battery that's on the back of my video camera, my Sony camcorder, and it's starting to flash yellow, which means it's time to go. So I'm going to wish you all tight lines, say good luck. I know some of you might be stuck in next week or this weekend, but you know, after next week the world's your oyster, and I hope you can all get out and find a bit of peace and quiet, and I hope I can find some for myself as well. So I'll say tight lines, take it easy, and I'll see you all next Wednesday, when hopefully some of you will have actually been fishing for real on a proper water. Yeah, cheers Will, Rob, Gizmo, Graham, Danny, if he's still here, Mr. Tyler, been another good one, it has, mate. Yeah. Winsford, good ticket, nice one, Mr. T. It's only about £40 a year as well, Winsford, and I think you've got to pay more if you want a night permit, depending if you want to do nights. Good ticket. Ian, yeah, cheers, mate. Who else has been in here tonight? Anthony. Who else? Just scrolling back up the list, like to name check anybody you've missed. Pards has gone, yeah, he went earlier. Nice one, Pards. Paul Hodgson, same as. Cheers, Paul. Scrolling back. Fishing UK Glasgow's here. Carp Jacket as well. Cheers, lads. Both of you for popping in and saying hello. Bald Eagle, Frank. Cheers, mate. You've been quiet tonight, Frank. I hope you're well anyway, if you're still here. Danny. Rob. Who was at the beginning? Louis Fishing. Cheers, mate. And whatchamacallit was here before as well, wasn't he, Luke? Luke's not on the list for some unknown reason. I don't think it'll scroll back far enough. But cheers, Luke, for popping in earlier on. Well done on your fish. Right, cheers, guys. I'll 70 notes all in for Winsford. Thanks, Will. Fountain of knowledge, mate. Take it easy, and I'll catch you all next Wednesday.